This is The Morning Drive. It's Mira Business FM. Running a small business in Dubai is tough. It's particularly tough at the moment. But there is support in the right communities, from connections to real opportunities. They are essential networks. So, Katy Keenan is the CEO of BCCD, and that's the British Chamber of Commerce Dubai. And she's here to talk about how groups like hers are helping SMEs stay afloat and grow. It's good to meet you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
You're very welcome. It's good to have you here. Let's get rid of a couple of notions to start with. A Chamber of Commerce used to be kind of a quite formal luncheon type place, swapping the business cards, shaking hands. 2026, it's not really that anymore, is it? It's kind of shifted. It's almost more, and at the moment, I suppose this is particularly true, it's more of a crisis response tool, isn't it?
Well, it's all things to all people.
Right.
I mean, everything you've said is covered. So as a chamber, those that have been in Dubai for long enough will remember the BBG. So we started as the British Business Group, working very closely with the British Embassy and the Department for Business and Trade. We're actually based on the embassy and have a very, very strong relationship. So we're a membership organisation, been in existence now for 39 years. And through that time, through various changes of boards and business teams, chairpersons, the flavour and the nature of what we provide has changed slightly. But the fundamental is that we support businesses that are British, that support British brands. Largely, 60% of our membership are actually owner-managed businesses.
Okay.
But we also have in our membership universities, chartered institutes, the banks, accountancy firms, law firms, construction companies. It's
pretty wide, isn't it?
It's 29 sectors, so I'm a very proud generalist.
Okay. Well, that's good, because that's the only way I can do this job, to be honest. Is it just British firms? How does the membership work?
So we're very reflective of the amazing culture that we have here in Dubai. So predominantly there must be a British nexus. So either that's your British passport, or you were educated in the UK, or you're supporting British brands. Okay,
I'm with you. So how does the diversity of your membership, and it is pretty broad if you've got 29 particular areas, how does that help businesses here? Do you get kind of cross-pollination between, I don't know, a UK-based tech startup maybe, who can help a logistics firm, if there's a supply chain spike, that kind of thing?
Absolutely. Yeah. With a full ecosystem.
Yeah.
So majority of our members are based here already in the UAE. Some of our members have been here for 40 years and have been members for almost that entire length of time, because they see this as an opportunity for building their network, which is their net worth. So they have their chosen partners, but also where the opportunity is where you've got UK companies coming through, either from their local British chambers in the UK or anywhere else around the world. They come to Dubai, they come to Abu Dhabi, they come to Ras Al Khaimah, and they're on a trade mission and they're wanting to meet, the local company set up, a lawyer, someone to advise them on what school to go to. So throughout the year, we actually host over 80 events throughout the year. So that can be 2 or 3 a week. And the format of those are, as I said, kind of to please everybody. Anything from informal networking at a breakfast, an evening, because obviously some people prefer the mornings to the evenings. And then we also have business briefings, which can attract about 150 senior delegates. And that will be focused on it could be the construction sector, it could be changes in the employment law, it could be healthcare, could be education, and a lot on well-being, because a lot of our annual partners are actually focused in the healthcare sector. Okay.
I just went to my notes there because I liked network is net worth. So I'm going to steal that, if you don't mind.
Please.
In the future. What are the benefits of an association like BCCD? If I'm a bakery or a consultancy, how does being part of an organisation like this help me? I mean, particularly, I'm thinking about now, because times are tough at the moment.
So something that I'm extremely proud of, and we have an incredible business team that really gets to know everybody in the membership.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a secret sales team. So through the onboarding process, a company that registers their interest, they'll speak to one of the membership managers, and they'll straight away be kind of locked into this Rolodeck of contact. So a company could come to us to say, we don't even know where to start. And straight away through that individualization, we can work out, oh, you need to speak to this person, or you're a good fit for that company, or have you considered that you might need cybersecurity, local advice rather than using your UK partner. So it's this full suite of a proposition that we provide, but we're built very much on reciprocity. So the most active, most successful members are those that come to a networking event, not for what's in it for me, but actually how can I help somebody else? And that's, I mean, personally, I'm a serial connector. I really love connecting people, and that's really the culture that we've been able to grow within the British Chamber.
It's a really useful thing, isn't it? So it's kind of we would hopefully encourage kind of a pay it forward
Absolutely.
kind of ethos.
Yeah.
Okay. Business isn't just about the bottom line. It's not just about figures. It's about people. How does the network use that? Use what it has to help the human side of things, because that's something that is also key at the moment. Things like, I don't know, keeping staff morale up, or dealing with office stress, or just the pressures of the day-to-day.
Yeah, and as you say, particularly now, so
it is
communication and connectivity and community, just happen to all begin with C, are really, really key. So I was fortunate enough to be involved in the Chamber through the pandemic. So as we know, nobody could have prepared for what really has happened in the last few weeks. But there are similarities to when we went through the pandemic. So businesses were really struggling at that point too. So we kind of brushed off the handbook of what worked well there. And it was the consistency and clarity of communication. So we were able to amplify messages coming from the British Embassy. We were able to help with their collation of information about residents and what the sentiment was. And we also worked really closely to help those tourists, the British tourists that were stranded here. So our role as a chamber is always very fluid. It's like when it's good, it's all about connecting businesses. But actually in times of strife, it's about how can we help? Who can we signpost you to? And it's also listening. So we're part of the Dubai Chamber International Business Network. And I've actually been to Dubai Chamber's HQ probably about 5 times since this started. They've been incredible at providing this feedback loop so that they invite the chairs and the CEOs of the British business, the Italian, Canadian, French, Ukrainian, we're all there speaking directly to the leadership of Dubai Chamber, who are then speaking to the government to really help understand what those pain points are and to quickly aid that process.
There's been a real sort of banding together, hasn't there been? And I think maybe we don't really appreciate this because I kind of think we're so affected by what we see in the press, what we see on social media, and most of us realise that a large part of that is nonsense. And you kind of forget that actually this is a city, this is a country where we're kind of thrown together, but people do kind of band together. There is sort of a we're in this together mentality.
Definitely. We definitely see that across all nationalities.
Yeah.
My daughters have been online learning, and everybody in their class is coming from a different geographical location. So even from the education perspective, the children that are being raised in the UAE aren't just thinking about how this impacts me here, but they're thinking about their friend and, perhaps they have family in Lebanon. So they'll be very sensitive to what they're going through, not just their experience here, but that kind of wider family network as well.
The key is the awareness of it as well, isn't it? Because, it is a very different place to grow up, I guess. What about the practical side of BCCD? And I mean, associations like yours generally, could you put that into some kind of context, that the real practical nuts and bolts help that businesses can kind of draw on?
Definitely. So again, things that have worked really well through this. So we have a weekly update that goes out every Thursday. So that reaches over 8,000 qualified leads. So that's UK businesses looking to the region. Right. So from a member's perspective, that's an amazing amplification of their expertise. And also from, showcasing Dubai as an amazing business landscape. When through the pandemic, we actually didn't do webinars. It was like a conscious decision.
Okay.
I think everyone was sick of screens, but we were actually the first chamber and business group to go back to live events. So my favorite story, which I've been telling a lot recently, is through working with Dubai Municipality and our hotel venue partners, we were the first to have an in-person event. Everybody was very nervous, and I was extremely proud of the business team, because ultimately, if they didn't feel confident running the event, then we wouldn't have done it. But we worked with Media One Hotel, who's one of our venue partners, and we had 2 glass jars at the front of by the registration desk. One had red wristbands, which meant I'm really nervous, I'd rather you not shake my hand, and I'd rather keep social distancing.
Okay.
And the other glass jar had green wristbands, which was, I'm relieved to get out the house, I want to continue with my business, I'm happy to shake hands, I'm all about it. We had to refill that green wristband jar 3 times.
Okay.
The feeling in that room, the noise level, it was almost overwhelming. And that was the same for the events once we carried on through this. We had over 100 members at our first breakfast networking after this event, and we've been fully booked in all of our events since.
It's remarkable when you think back to the COVID time. I mean, your COVID manual is probably still sat on the desk, I suppose, and it's not been put back on the shelf. But it's remarkable to think back to that. And I've almost completely forgotten that the social distancing thing happened, and how nervous we all were, how much we didn't know, that hopefully we now do know. Are you seeing more companies seeking out your community at the moment?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because when I look at our new members, obviously we love having new members, but one of my favourite stats is the returning members. Okay. So it's those that from years ago had a bad experience, or they didn't feel they needed it. When they come back, for me, that gives me a lot of joy.
I can understand that. It's like somebody's come to my party.
Yeah,
sort of thing, isn't it?
It's like, good, you're back.
I've got friends.
You see the value, and probably they'll stay even longer, because I think. But actually, through this, what's giving me the most joy are the British companies that might not have felt they needed the level of community that we've been providing, and suddenly they do. And that, for me, from leading the business team that cares so deeply and are so proud of the brand, to actually have somebody saying, I love what you're doing, you're a beacon for communication, we really understand your positioning in the market. That, for me, has been our biggest success through this period.
I suppose it brings it all back into focus, doesn't it? When something adverse happens, you appreciate the things that maybe you should have appreciated a bit more. It's been a really strange time, the last 50 days, I think, for a lot of people, and there's still a lot of uncertainty in the air. So how do you adapt what you do in terms of the support that you offer, the service that you offer, as economic pressures evolve? Because what you're telling people one day could tomorrow be completely different.
Yeah, and that's been really key, actually. It was our ambassador, His Majesty's Ambassador Edward Hobart, said on a town hall recently that he urged UK PLCs to come out of crisis operations and start operating in this new normal. Because there is this paralysis where some companies have just thought, I can't cope. And, understandably, those that came through the pandemic that had a really tough time will be thinking it's too soon, the muscle memory is still there, can I do this? But there is so much economic support now. So at Dubai Chamber yesterday, they were saying the banks do have liquidity, but the message is engage with your bank, engage with your relationship manager as soon as possible, because there is structuring, there is situational lending available. There's signposting to debt advisors through legal, and that's something that we've been doing in addition to our weekly update, is a regional specific update, which has incredible open rates. It was like 60% open rate, but it's specifically looking at how to help companies and the main thing is seek advice as soon as possible.
Yeah, communicate.
Yeah, cash flow will be an issue, I'm sure, particularly for the hospitality sector or any companies that are related to the hospitality sector. So that was the immediate concern for the government. And now, obviously the whole supply chain's affected, the construction sector will be affected, but it's all about the word that's overused, but I do love, pivoting. If you were expecting to get your materials in a traditional way that's not now working, how else can you get them? Could that actually open up a new partnership? But in all of this, it's all about good business. So it's making sure this, the causality effect, chicken and egg. The supplier and the buyer have to be doing good business for this all to keep working for a stronger recovery. As soon as people default on their relationship or a contract or a promise, there's a whole dominoes effect. And that's what I really hope not to see.
Yeah.
Because I do strongly believe that Dubai will bounce back. I think we'll all have whiplash. And, we'll be in Q3, Q4 unable to get anywhere because every venue, every event that's been postponed will likely now fall in Q3, Q4.
Well, it's going to be capacity, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's going to be the issue, I guess. Pivot's a great word. I offer you another word, and this is the word for Dubai. It's bounce back ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the word we've been using. Along with resilience, that's the other word at the moment, but I don't want to bring that in today. You speak to lots of business owners, I guess, hundreds, I suppose, over the course of your average month. When we say it's getting tougher to run a small business in Dubai right now, it doesn't need to be. It's irrelevant me making statements like that. But I'm interested in the pain points that people highlight to you, whether it's cash flow, if it's regulatory, or if it's, I don't know, employee stress, whatever it is. What do people tell you?
So 60% of our membership, as I mentioned, are owner-managed businesses, and that's anything from a window cleaner through to a large consultancy firm. What I'm really fascinated about, it's around that employment structure. So quite often with a small business, they can't afford the level of expertise of, for example, a CFO, a financial officer, chief financial officer.
Yeah.
So there are lots of new disruptive models that are actually really helping the SME community. So it's called fractional recruitment.
Right.
So what happens is you have a top lawyer, a top finance director, a top marketing director. They may have chosen not to be working full-time in a large organization. There are now agencies that help match them to smaller companies where they might be more time poor. So the obvious demographic are women returning to work.
Yep.
So, for example, when I returned back to work, I didn't want to do 9 to 5 would have been normal, but the 8 till 6, which is the most obvious. So I was looking for part-time work, but I brought with me huge amounts of expertise of working in financial institutions and trade and marketing. So now I would go to one of these fractional recruitment agencies and say, this is all my expertise. I can do 3 mornings a week. So then the SME thinks, brilliant, because I can't afford a full-time, ex-Saatchi and Saatchi marketing director.
Right.
But I can afford this small. So actually, I think there's an opportunity now to really shape who you have around your boardroom, who you have in your senior leadership, because the companies that I see that are faring as well as possible are those that were really scrutinised and had that level of expertise from UK PLCs, from international, that were policing cash flow early on, not scaling too quickly,
Right.
And making really conscious in intuitive decisions.
We've got a minute left. Loads of questions that I haven't even got to, actually. We should have booked you for an hour.
I can come back.
Thanks. Let me ask you just one more question. I always think of your an organisation like BCCD as a network, as a networking opportunity in many ways, because that's kind of the primary driver, I suppose. In your experience, let me ask you this, and I'm terrible at this because I can't network. I just end up saying stupid things, and people walk away thinking, "Why am I talking to the weird guy?" So, what's the big mistake when you see small businesses and they don't network? Is that the biggest mistake a small business can do? Should people just think to themselves, look, I need to get out there more? Is that the key?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't think many people enjoy networking, and that's how we design all of our events.
It's not easy.
It's not, and it's daunting. It's like going into the school playground on your first day. It's like, oh, I don't know who to speak to.
Yeah.
So we're very inclusive. The whole team get to know members so that even as they're walking towards registration, I have to mention Corey from our events team. He's like human AI. He'll have looked the night before to see the LinkedIn profiles, as long as it's a photo that's not, not corporately catfishing somebody. But he'll straight away say, hello, and they don't even have to say their name. And then one of the other membership managers will then say, oh, I need to introduce you to XYZ. And we're constantly scanning the room to make sure that everybody is speaking to somebody that's useful. I mean, that's our day-to-day.
That's an assigned role kind of thing, isn't it? Okay. Does Corey know he's human AI, by the way?
He does, yeah.
Is he listening? Yeah.
I hope so.
All right.
Scanning.
Oh, man. Katy Keenan is the CEO of BCCD, it's the British Chamber of Commerce in Dubai. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Thank you for the time. Thanks.
Good to have you here. This is Mirror Business FM.